So, so today I'm going to introduce you to the free relevant platform for you regarding what we discussed last time. So, inside fashion, and within fashion, we have fashion design and fashion buying. And fashion buying make a lot of sense as you're going to see because you're working closely with retailers. And so it's important for you to understand, what they are looking for so you can, offer a good range of products for them. So inside, I obviously already introduced you to the platform quickly, but Insight is like really the brain of the WGSN. So this is where you understand, basically the final consumer. Even though you're working more, B2B, at the end, like the product you are making, they are for final consumer. And so it's super important to understand, the way that people are living, behaving, consuming, so you can create products that are relevant for them. So this is what's happening within Insight. I think I already introduced you to this menu. You can, think of the menu as a timeline. So the more you are at the left, the further you are in the future. So you have here reports that are 3 to 10 years ahead. So more, emerging trends or, emerging concepts, like really emerging lifestyle, really to understand where you can find as well new opportunities for the business, like new partnership. Um, Here within future strategy, you have our macro and consumer forecast. Um, those are 2 years ahead. This is basically our sweet spot 2 years ahead, and we operate with an accuracy rate of 94%. We are covering all the generation. In this section, you can have like reports that are coming from different industries. So because it's super interesting to understand, what's happening in other industry, even though you're not working within specific industry, because it can just influence your industry. You have this retail perspective, marketing perspective, and lifestyle. This is where you understand like the biggest lifestyle that present the biggest opportunities in terms of business. I'm gonna show you one report from inside, but do you have any questions so far, or is it quite clear?
No, that's perfectly fine.
So, one of the must read report within Insight, and once again, I know you're working B2B, but even though I think it's super interesting for you to understand who will be the future consumer. So this report is the must read report within Insight, and basically it's showing you the future consumer 2 years ahead. So this one was released beginning of 2024, and it's for the future consumer for 2026. So basically in 2 weeks we're gonna have the future consumer for 2027. So you're gonna see always the same structure in the report. So always like a little introduction, um, kind of explaining you where does this forecast come from. Then we are showing you the sentiments that are gonna animate 2026. So for the main sentiment, we always linking everything within the methodology that we are using. Every word that are underlined, it could, if you click on it, it could either bring you, as you can see here, to another report that is digging, into the subject, or if you click here, you can as well, it can bring you as well to like an external source where we found the data basically. And it's interesting as well because you can read again something, and dig into this subject. So coming back to the report, so basically we are, like I said, presenting you the four main sentiments, like the drivers, and then we are showing you the full profile for 2026, linking to the methodology, showing you as well the evolution. So obviously when you're working with us for like many years, it's interesting and nice to see like the evolution and to understand where are your clients, like all your consumer has been involved. And then we are showing you the profile, which generation is the most impacted by those profile, where does it come from regarding the methodology, and how to engage with them. So obviously you're not going to engage with them, but still interesting to understand, the way like people want to be approached, and yeah, as well, like here in the section in action, we are basically showing you companies or brands. It could be as well some organization like government, for example, that are already applying some strategy that we are showing here. So it's interesting because it can as well help you to find new partnership or to understand the way that company operates. So that's kind of it for this report. Do you have any question? Is it clear? And do you find it relevant as well?
Yes, this is perfect. Thank you.
Great. And so at the very, so here, you have the methodology we are using that I've shown you last time. And yeah. And just to let you know that we have those those four profiles, sorry. We do have some reports that are specifically digging into each profile. Moving to the interesting part, I mean, inside is super interesting, but for you, like, it's even more interesting to go to fashion because this is where basically we are translating everything we learned within Insight into product. So, in terms of color, like product forecast, but as well, or to sell those products, or to build your assortment, all those kind of stuff. So, like, that's super exciting. So this is fashion, right? So you can see in fashion you have two different platforms, so design and buying. I'm going to start with design. So this is basically where, like I said, you understand and you translated all the trends that that we've seen before into product. So here, this homepage, it's pushed by an algorithm. So the more you're using the platform, the more like the most relevant reports for you are going to be in the homepage. Once again, this menu, you can see it as a timeline, but more like a commercial timeline. So here you understand basically, the product, the market, the season, and then you are developing the product, and then you understand how you can sell the product basically. So like market, like I told you last time, we are covering women and men, like you need to the season, so we can go up to 20 of autumn winter 26 27 at the moment. Within research and create, this is where you can find all your product forecasts. So product design, capsule intelligence. I'm going to show you some reports in a minute regarding this section. All the categories that we are covering, this retail perspective, catwalks, like I said last time, basically showing you the main catwalks and what we've seen there. And then you do have a feed. I'm going to show you what the feed in a minute. Some images, resources, and some design resources that you're going to see within a report. So, moving to the project, basically, we have within the section color, some color forecast. So we have different color forecasts. We have a global color forecast that is basically highlighting the color for like a season. So it's coming twice a year for spring, summer, and autumn, winter. And those global color forecasts, they are covering and relevant for the whole industries that we are covering. So the global color forecast, it's in the fashion platform, but it's as well in the beauty, in the food and drink. Um, we are as well talking in colors regionally. So we do have some, Europe color forecast, LATAM color forecast, color forecast. I decided to go with this woman color forecast because we do as well within the fashion platform. We do some color forecast regarding the categories, so women, men, and kids. But you're gonna see that they are all. I mean, I'm showing you just this one, but they all have the same structure. So this report comes once again twice a year, okay, for spring, summer, and for autumn, winter. Everything you need to know and basically linking to the methodology. And so then we are showing you the seasonal color, the annual color, and the long-term color. So basically here you can really understand a longevity of the color, and regarding, your clients and the DNA of your clients, you can, apply the most relevant color. For example, for a client would be more innovative, like I told you last time, you can, apply like all the seasonal color, but for a client that is more, mass market and more like timeless, you want to apply maybe more like the long-term color. We have on this report, Pantone and Coloro references everywhere. So seasonal, annual, and long-term color. Then some proof points, so it's just like some data that we found interesting for you. And then we are showing you and basically telling you a bit of like, a story, or you can create as well, like little collection and stuff. So we are basically showing you more like a theme, right? So new, dark, and transformative teal, which is the color of the year for 2026. Um, and then we are showing you, like here, like the little story, how to pair color basically together. And we are doing that for every theme that we created and that we are forecasting for autumn winter 26, 27. What do you think? Do you think it could be helpful for you? And does it look like, because you used the platform before, right? So is it still looking kind of the same?
Yes, yes, it certainly is. This is very helpful. I think we'll definitely be using things like this.
Wait, really, really, usually, sorry, like the client, they really love this color forecast. And so I'm hoping you like it too. And here as well, I forgot to mention, but you have some images. So, it's more like brand that are already, applying that few color that we spot already. And you can save them. You can create, your own spaces within the platform. Where you can save, the images, and you can as well download them if you need to create mood board, for example. So that's basically and like I said before, sorry, Coloro reference and Pantone reference. Um, so that's basically the product, the color forecast. So like I said, we have global color forecast, we have global color combination. I mean, we do have a lot of color forecasts. Regarding retail, marketing, and product forecast. Um, so this is WGSN core. So this is basically, like you can see that this is highlight. So basically, you are in the brain of the WGSN. This is what we call our horizontal platform, because this is where you can get to understand like everything about your consumer, about like future lifestyle, emerging trend in terms of of society, and then you have here um, the platform that are more like like it's an add-on on top of like this the brain of WGSN on this platform, which is the WGSN core. And so regarding like the industry you're working in, you have access to fashion, beauty, food and drink. The, there is a two way of working with us. There is an annual subscription, so you're basically paying an annual access to the platform that you choose, right? So it's like this plus, for example, for your company, fashion. But some companies, they are buying like all the platform, but just so you don't have access to every platform. You have to pay only for the one you want. If you want to have access to everything, you can, but obviously you have to pay for it. So, like I said, so but this first platform for the brain of the digital, you have here the notification menu, and you can think of it as five. So within the section, the strategy, we do have forecasts that are 3 to 10 years ahead. So they can maybe I don't know, maybe you can unmute yourself because oh, okay, great, thank you. um, so yeah, so here you have like a report. I said that I were 3 to 10 years ahead, and so the further you are, I mean, the more you are at the left, the further you are in the future. Then you have a consumer approach, a marketing approach, a retail approach. So as you can get, retail is like more like 2 years ahead. By the way, most of our reports are 2 years ahead. That's our sweet spot. So we do have an accuracy rate of 94%. Um, so within this total strategy section, like I was saying, you have the report about critical levels. So basically showing you and highlighting like new lifestyle, new emerging trends. So it's initial to help you future-proof your business. For example, one of the most read reports is the future consumer. So it's consumer for 2027. So this one was just released like 2 days ago. And basically, within this report, you are learning who are going to be the four main profiles of consumers for 2026, 2027. Sorry. So basically, all the reports have the same structures. They always have to know the opportunities, and what are the key strategies. So basically, who are the four main profiles? So those are the four main profiles. So the profile, they are not like, okay, so this profile, for example, the private equity, we're not going to tell you this profile is like 40% men, 60% women, age from 10 to 20. This is not like that. The profile, they are more they based on like, belief, behavior, like what is animated those profile and those people. And so that's why we can group them. So for example, one profile is like very nature oriented, looking for, like a sober lifestyle, um, so for an outdoor lifestyle, while like another profile could be someone that is like more lux- luxury consumer that is looking for high quality to spend money. So, this kind of stuff. And so basically after we are digging into every profile, telling you what you need to know, what is the opportunity, some of the points. So like I said, some number, yes, we can help in terms of design, video assortment, but we do our a business tool, so that's why we have a lot of like data to prove what we are saying. And then we are digging into the profile, and or you can engage with them and some business strategies. I understand that, for example, you working more B2B, so it's maybe not 100% related to what you're doing, but that is quite and still a super interesting content. We're going to be the four main profile to make sure that you are creating products that are aligned with that. And then we are digging into every profile. Do you have any questions so far, or is it clear?
No, you mentioned that I'm dealing B2B, but this is actually the kind of information that they require. They want to know, beyond what they as a company can see for their consumers. So this is actually the type of information we would need. So this is very helpful.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I mentioned because I know that you're working B2B. So for some people, it's like even they are closer to the to the final consumer, like while you are a bit less. But yeah, of course, I guess it makes sense for you to understand to who you are creating a product. So yeah, so that's for example this one report I picked within WGSN core. But usually, like you can see, we are covering every generation. You have a marketing approach, so brand strategy, social media. You have a retail approach, So, for example, for your client that you just mentioned, that is like maybe a shopping center, you have some store strategy report where you can have, where are your where you can learn, sorry, where are the opportunities, or you can, decorate, and or you can make sure that your store are responding to like basically your consumer. So like I said, here within WGSN core, you are learning about your consumer, about like emerging trends, society in terms of a society trend, etc. And then we are translating all this knowledge into products. As you can see, so I'm going to show you the fashion platform. There is two platforms, design and buy. So let's start with the fashion design. So this is definitely more product related. Here you have once again the navigation menu, and you can once again see it as the timeline. The more you are at the left, the further you are in future. But it's as well like a commercial timeline, meaning that the more you are at the left, the more you are thinking about like what color should I apply, what item should I design, and then it's more like oh I to sell those items, so you have like some retail reports and stuff. So using this fashion platform, we are covering a macro and a product forecast. We are covering every market, so women, men, youth and kids. Like I said, we are 2 years ahead, so we already have reports that are for autumn winter 26-27. This research and create section is basically like mostly for the design team when we have a color forecast, casting forecast, the item I'm going to show you in a minute. We are covering every category: accessories, active apparel, footwear, and snakes and swimwear. We have this detailed approach as well. I'm going to show one part of the report in a second. And we are covering every catwalk, so here you can find every catwalk, there's a picture of every catwalk that we've been to, so that's quite interesting. So regarding, like, for example, design, we do have this color forecast. So for example, this one is for women. As you can see, that's been released in November for autumn winter 2027, so it's 3 years ahead. Um, Same structure than all of our reports. And so basically so this color forecast is focusing on women, but we do have like a global color forecast. We have as well a regional one, so one for EMEA, one for North America, one for Asia. So we do work with regional forecast within the color space. We have as well an evolution color forecast, and we do have a lot of color forecasts. I decided to go to this one, but it's just for you to have an understanding of what we're doing. But yes, so this color forecast, and every color forecast, they can have the same structure. So this one is for autumn winter 2027. But basically, we are every time highlighting what colors are going to be the seasonal color, right? So we use the Pantone reference and the Coloro reference. Coloro, by the way, is our own color system. Um, then we are showing you the annual color, so it's spring, summer, Pacific plus autumn, winter 2027. Then the long-term color. So basically, here you have an understanding of like the longevity of every color. So that's quite interesting, while building your collection. Then we are liking some proof points, and then we are getting into like the key colors for the season. So the new dark with the somatic still, and kind of telling you as well a little stories, like how you can build collection around, like, for example, those colors. So here you have like some colors that are going, or to pair colors basically that are going well together. You are doing that for different color strategy basically. And here you can see that it's very visual. We are always highlighting, all different brands are always using those colors, so it's quite interesting for you to get inspiration. So, any questions so far or any comments?
No, all looks good so far.
And so yeah, at the very end you have all the references, like I said, sometimes, and so this is our color methodology basically. How we find and how we forecast those colors, and then you have like some additional reports that you can have a look through. So like I said, global forecast, combination, women color forecast, and there's a lot of color forecast as you can. Um, so another report that I wanted to highlight is 4 items and key items. So basically at WGSN, we are calling 4 items, those items that are mainly doing like your collection. So, like for example, in winter, cardigan, jumper, and within this report, we are telling you, or you can bring newness to, for example, the women's skirt for spring, summer 20. So once again, the structure, and so for example, the A-line skirt is something that's going to be trendy for spring summer 2026, and you are telling me, or you can bring newness to the A-line skirt. So you can add in this with polka dots, with creative skirt lines, etc. Here you can see you have a little hashtag. If you click on it, it's going to bring you to what we call the WGSN feed. This feed is made by our experts. It's composed by pictures coming from catwalk, as you can see, but it could be street style, it could be advertising, it could be like a lot of different sources. And it's quite interesting because it's super visual, so if you need to create mood board or whatever, and you can filter, by market, categories, season, etc. And at every time you see an hashtag, you can just click on it, and it's going to bring you to another page. So yeah, like I was saying, it was in the core item. We are basically telling you, okay, so this one is like for spring summer 26, or you can bring newness to those type of skirts. So first we are telling you some proof points. So as you maybe don't know, we are following, we have different sources of data, and we are following 10,000 e-com brands within the UK and the US market. And we are looking basically at what people are buying from them. And so that's why here we are able to tell you this aligned curve, so the shape of curve. It's like a sustained riser, so meaning that you can invest into this side because it's growing. So as you can see as well, we've seen more A-line skirts on the spring summer 26 capsules than for the one for spring summer 25. It's growing. So like here you can have like you have some proof points. So while taking decision, you are going to be more confident. And then we are doing that for every style that we for that. So the common skirt, low riser, etc. Any questions so far? Do you think that this will be helpful or interesting for you?
Yes, this would certainly be helpful. This is what we exactly need. I'm probably just interested to know where you get your information from. Obviously, you've explained the feed, the experts put the information in the feed. Are those experts people in other brands? So is this information circular? For example, brands are giving you their information and then using your information again to build their next range? Like, yeah, how do you get all this information from all around?
So first we don't, for example, if you're using our platform, we're never going to use your information.
Okay.
All the 10,000 e-com brand that we are following, it's like public data, basically.
Okay.
It's because we have 300 in-house consultants that are working for us. They have time to analyze all this data. But basically, we are looking at five main sources to validate the trend, which is like the shows. So looking, for example, at all the categories and understanding, thanks to AI, we are able to say, okay, for the Paris Fashion Week, spring, summer, 20% of everything that we have seen was yellow, for example. So this is the first source. The second one is social media. So we are analyzing more than 100,000 posts every month. Um, the third one is, like I said, following like those 10,000 e-com brands and looking at what people are buying. We are looking as well at searches, so what people are looking on Instagram, Pinterest, Amazon, TikTok, so we can understand, what the future demand is going to look like. And we are talking to roughly 20,000 people a month, like final consumer, asking them, like, do you have a shop online or in store? Do you have a shop, like comfort clothes or like stylish clothes, those kind of stuff. So those five main sources help us to validate it.
Amazing, amazing. So, like, where do you see the um, industry changing from this perspective? So, obviously, you guys collect information. How do you feel like it can expand in the future to collect more information more accurately to do what you do?
You mean, we can, I'm not sure I understand the question, sorry, like,
So how do you see that this industry will change? Not the fashion industry, but the information collecting, the forecasting industry, let's say. How do you see that this will change in the next like 10 years? Do you see that you'll still be collecting information this way? Or are there other avenues that are coming up for you, do you think?
that's a good question, actually. I'm not sure I have the answer. Just
Okay.
at the we just have we have our methodology and we stick to it because it's been 30 years that we have been using that we are 94% of the time right. But obviously with AI, like there is some new doors that we can open. But at the moment, and it's really because the WGSN is human oriented. So like everything you see on the platform is made by our experts. So like I said, more than 300 working on a daily basis and providing this report and doing this forecast. So I'm not sure that we're gonna be one day, fully based on AI or whatever. We are really sticking to our human approach. But
Okay. And you
some
said you're
people,
94% accurate. How do you get that number? What's that based on?
Well, I mean, I can share with you if you want at the end a little deck, for example, where we can, where we are highlighting basically the first time we highlight an forecasted trend and all of the trends become more different. For example, cargo powder, like, the big thing at, like, I think it was 3 summer ago, like, pink was kind of everywhere. It was like the same time the baby went out. So
Okay.
basically we are looking at, like a different, I explained to you the methodology regarding the framework. So we are looking at, society, security, different pillars. And, from those pillars, we're able to do the forecast. And so, yeah, that's basically 94% comes like, because we are looking at what we forecast and what happens.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, I can share like this little deck where you're going to be able to see where
Yeah.
can we focus on, like the journey of the brand.
Okay. Yeah, that would be good to see.
So conscious of the time, I'm just gonna jump to another report. So like I said, like we are working with core item and key item. So core item, you got it. It's like the item that you have in your collection and you just want to bring units. The key item, they are like the trend-led items. So they are basically maybe only 20% of the collection, but they are like the ones that are, driving your collection. They are like the trendy items. So within this report, for example, I decided to go with the men jackets and outerwear for spring summer 26. And we are basically highlighting like a few jackets that are going to be like very trendy for the season. So for example, the bomber jacket, the modern soft paper jacket. And here you have like some visual support, some design strategy, and here you have like 2D and 3D CAD because we do have some design resources. So we have 3D CAD and 3D CAD, but it's more when you have like a design team, but it's quite interesting. And so yeah, so that's, like the differentiation between core and key items. Any question? Is it clear, the differentiation? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you.
Um, Another report that is quite interesting, for example, especially for you, it's like the biophilippines. So this report is more like a release like 15 months before. And so here, for example, this one is regarding the footwear and accessories, the colors and materials and details. And basically within this report, it's more made for like, the buyer. And so basically here we are telling you, okay, this in this brand, we are advising you to protect. So basically here you have like this it means trend investment projection. And basically, we are telling you, okay, you need to invest into it, you need to test. It's more like the level of investment you need to put into a trend. So, for example, protect means that it's a growing trend that we will advise buyers to keep investing into this brown trend. Um, and as you can see, we are always like, some proof points, so Pinterest, TikTok, etc., catwalks. So why we are telling you that this trend is like protect, so meaning that this trend is like growing because we do have some proof points here. Same for midnight blue, but for example, if a share later, it's like more invest, so it's even more like it's a trend that is really growing, that is not as big as this one, but that's really growing, so you want to invest into it. But for example, the electric fuchsia is more like it's not going as strongly as the other one. So we are, telling you to test it and not invest it into like a big volume. So yeah, and then we are looking into every, colors and materials and, for accessories and footwear. I'm guessing that maybe I wish that at the very bottom, yeah. So basically at the very bottom, we are kind of explaining you the methodology and all, we are able to tell you if the trend is like strongly growing or like more an emerging trend, etc. But I think this kind of report will be super helpful for you to understand, the level of investment that you need to put in every trend. So you'll make sure that your assortment is built in a nice way. Any questions?
Not at the moment. That's been very informative, and yeah, you've delved into everything we would need for our project. So that's helpful.
Okay, amazing. So let's Um, if you have 5 minutes, I can just show you like some like another platform as well. So, but like obviously today, like the idea is more for you to understand the value and where we can help. But as you can see, there's tons of reports, so you have like even more information available. But at least that's my understanding today. And so yeah, we were in fashion design, but something that could be interesting, especially because we're working with those companies like fashion buying. Um, so the fashion buying platform is made for buyers by buyers. So it's full of data here, like full of like numbers. So how many? I don't know. I'm going to show you like different things, but like how many items you need to buy in this category and stuff. So for example, on the home page here, just at the bottom, you have, for example, apparel issues. And so we are basically looking at 2 seasons, so spring, summer, but this is just because we're looking at spring, summer, because we are going to spring, summer. But if we come back on this page in like few months, it's going to be autumn, winter, but you do have autumn, winter, right? Um, so here basically you have like the women's total apparel product mix. So we are looking at UK, US, right? So for example, for spring, summer for 25, um, we are forecasting that, sorry, from 25 to 26, it's going to grow. So you need to have more stuff, in your product mix. But for example, dresses, it's going a bit down. So you need to invest a bit less in dresses because we are forecasting them next to go a bit down. But this is for the UK, and for example, for the US, the dresses are going up. And then we do the same for autumn winter. And so this is for apparel, but then we are digging into those categories of top, categories of bottom, same for footwear. So as you can see, that's amazing when you want to buy to build, sorry, your product mix with full of data. We did introduce something that is really, really nice as well, is this opportunity calculator. So basically, I just did the case, the data before code. But basically, the opportunity calculator is basically telling you. So here, okay, it's quite interactive. So you can do foresight calculation and impact. Foresight is like the most important one. So basically, here you want to know, how many flare genes you need to have within your product mix. So basically, you click on forecast calculation. At the moment, because this tool was just released, at the moment it's only for the women market and for apparel, so we're not doing it for footwear or accessories at the moment. It's going to be live in men's footwear and everything at the end of this year. But yeah, we can still work on that. So women apparel, what are your target customers? So for example, are they more like early adopter? Are they more mass? Are they more late adopter? Or you can pick all customers. Then what region you're in, so UK. Then you can select, the date when do you want to sell those items. So we can, for example, for the example, I could set to April 2026. What is the category we are talking to? So, we need to see it because I can't see it. But the category, so for example, yeah, dresses, and then what kind of dresses, so for example, kid dress, and then you can put like the average selling price um, you expect to sell your dresses. What is the percentage of those kind of dresses you are thinking of, buying? How many units and like the expected sell-through rate? And then you click on calculate, and basically, so I've done it before. Basically, for example, for the fit and flare dresses, for someone who was planning to have 12% of fit and flare dresses within his assortment, we are telling you that it's a bit too high. Like we recommend to have only 5%, meaning that if you're planning to do 12, we are forecasting that you're going to have a loss of 700,000 euros pound approximately, because you're gonna be overstocked regarding what we expect to be sold during this period of time. I don't know if it's too clear. I try to be clear. I don't know. Do you have any question?
No, that's
Oh,
very clear. Yeah, we have that calculator in our documents as well, but it's all very primitive, just, Excel spreadsheet. So this is very fun. It's a more, fun way of looking at the information for when you're reporting.
yes. You
Yeah.
do have something like that already.
Yes, it's just a tool in Excel. It's a calculator essentially. You just do product mix and then you just say your sell-through rate, and we're calculating this currently in Excel.
Okay, but
Yeah.
because we know we apply this of forecast as well. So that's, I think, like
Okay.
the main difference between your tools, because this is where we are telling you. Because sorry, I was not sharing the good screen, but like I was saying that, for example, if the data are just I put before our call, but for example, if you were planning to have 12% of fit and flare dresses or to sell between Jan and April 2026, we are telling you, okay, we recommend you to buy only 5% because this is what we forecast. And so
Okay.
we are telling you, okay, if you're buying 12% instead of 5, you're gonna basically lose 700,000 pounds. And here you have, like, the line. So this is our forecast. This is what the client was thinking of, and so this is like everything that's gonna be, you know, over.
Lost.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing that is quite interesting, is that we are not only calculating, but basically telling you, like,
Forecast, yeah.
about what we forecast. Um, but so yeah, like within the fashion buying platform, we do have a lot of, data, like I'm saying. So obviously, we can't, go through everything, but yeah, share your thoughts with me. Like, what did you think of the demonstration? I mean, of the demo. Was it helpful? Do you have any questions?